Hi, my name is Maya Stackhouse, and I picked the Chandler versus Florida Supreme Court case to present. So this case is extremely important to journalists, especially broadcast journalists, and this is because Chandler versus Florida dictates if states were or were not allowed to allow filming to be done in courtrooms. So the history of debate. Chandler versus Florida is one of the more recent Supreme Court cases involving filming inside of courtrooms, but media in the courtroom was debated since cameras and even before they were invented. In 1935, the trial of Bruno Hauptmann, a man who kidnapped the son of aviator Charles Lindbergh, was one of the first cases that caused a debate regarding media in the courtroom. Radio stations covered this trial, which caused a lot of chaos across the U.S. Because of this chaos, states started banning radio and then later television from courtroom proceedings. But as time went on, cameras became smaller and broadcasters needed less to send a message, so broadcasters pressed to resume broadcast coverage. With restrictions on broadcasting, Florida did eventually agree to change the law and to let electronic media record judicial proceedings, but with a lot of restrictions. So broadcasters caught on to this new law quickly and took action when two Miami Beach police officers, Chandler and Granger, were charged with burglarizing a local restaurant. Local television stations covered some of the trials, and it instantly blew up in the media. This caused a question among a lot of lawmakers. The question was, does allowing media coverage of a criminal trial for public broadcast violate the accused's right to a fair trial as guaranteed by the 6th and 14th Amendments? So the answer, on January 26, 1981, the court found no constitutional violation in this case. So basically, as long as the media doesn't infringe on fundamental guarantees of the accused, it's consistent with the Constitution. So this means as long as I don't report fake news or come to only show one side of the court case and try and change the jury's outcome, it is allowed for most parts, as long as the state allows it. So the juror decided that the case was not enough to justify an outright ban on broadcast coverage, and the states were free to experiment in the area. So it really depends on which state you're in for the broadcasting laws in the courtroom. So how does this affect communications? This one's pretty obvious how it affects the communications, but it's because Chandler versus Florida led to more cameras in courtrooms, and this benefits broadcasters and journalists, but some people argue that it's not good for courts and there shouldn't be people reporting because it can cause media bias among the courtroom. Some famous examples of broadcast coverage that you might have seen include the 1995 murder trial of former football player O.J. Simpson. This is controversial. A lot of people think that it shouldn't have been in the media, and it caused different accusations whether he did or did not murder. And most recently, we can recall the abuse allegations against Johnny Depp by Amber Heard. So those are two very popular instances, and obviously it's good for broadcasters because they are allowed to report that, but just some people do not think it should be allowed still.